Okay. You've heard me say that the confident actor is the actor that gets the gig. Now, I do not mean being cocky or full of yourself, but rather the actor that understands the value of a positive self-image. One that communicates the subtext, I can't wait to show you how I'm going to play this part. But what if you're not feeling so confident about yourself? Self-confidence can be a lonely place and over time can undermine your confidence and ultimately affect your career path. If this sounds like you are in the right place. In this episode of Casting Actors Cast, I give you the 3 keys to confidence. These keys will open the door to a better, smarter, positive approach to your acting and your acting career. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach, and this is Casting Actors Cast, the podcast for actors from a casting director. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm casting director Jeffrey Dreisbach with the McCorkle Group in New York. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you about confidence, self-confidence. We're going to break it down, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you're going to feel so much better about yourself, and how you approach your work is going to be affected in a positive way as a result of this podcast, I promise. But first, this is that moment of the podcast where I simply want to thank you. If you're new to Casting Actors Cast, welcome. It's really great that you're here. I invite you to check out the website, castingactorscast.com. That's castingactorscast, all one word.com. There you're going to find all kinds of cool information, not only about the podcast, but I'm also offering some freebies. You can get a free downloadable PDF book by filling out that form that says dive into the talent pool. If you do that, it'll open up some freebies. A book called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the Voiceover Workshop for Professional Actors. That's a book on doing voice acting. It's a 100-page book. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is just fill out that form. And as I've said, I don't do anything with that information then, and an occasional announcement about the podcast or a class I'm teaching, something along those lines, but I definitely don't spam you. In addition to that, you're going to find a free video all about casting directors' secrets, what they don't want you to know. And I'm going to tell you in this free 20-minute video, it's a private video, so only by going through the form and filling it out and then going to and clicking on that video will you be able to have access to it. And then finally, there's an area called Jeff's Jots. It's a really great breakdown of each episode that I give you. So if you wanted a printed out version of the podcast, the podios, the podcast videos, then by all means, you might want to download that copy and use it to help you follow along and maybe retain some of that information even a little bit more than you're currently doing. Now, if you've been a regular listener to Casting Actors Cast for a while, you know what? I got to tell you, I'm getting so excited because I'm getting scarily close to 50,000 downloads, and I'm preparing a special thank you episode for those 50,000 downloads. So stay tuned for that, and your continued support means everything. You know, if you would, could you leave a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts? A like, a thumbs up, any kind of positive forward momentum for this podcast is so greatly appreciated. Now, let me do a couple of other quick shout outs. One is a really cool new website called weaudition.com. And I've mentioned it in the past, and I'm just going to bring it up again, that weaudition.com. Weaudition.com is the video chat community to audition, self-tape, rehearse, and get expert industry advice. You can audition and take general meetings on video chat. You can get career advice from industry professionals, and you can actually earn money for rehearsing with other actors. So wouldn't that be cool? But you got to join, and to do that, you go to weaudition.com. Now listen, if you mention the promo code CAC25, that's CAC for 25, Casting Actors Cast, CAC25. That will give you 25% off the membership price, and that's just because you're learning it from me. So I would invite you to at least check it out. It sounds like it could be something really useful to you and valuable, and I think it seems like, a cool place. So that's weaudition.com. Mention the code CastingActorsCast25. Also, my dear friends at Actors Connection, actorsconnection.com/NYC. And now I'd like to, of course, mention my dear friends at Actors Connection, actorsconnection.com/New York. Now, Actors Connection is the place where professionals in the industry teach classes, seminars, workshops in all of the areas that you might be interested in. So do go to actorsconnection.com, and hello to my good friends at Actors Connection. All right, I think that's it for all the promotional stuff. Let's get right into the 3 keys to confidence. Before we give you the 3 keys, I've got to set it up first, right? After all, if this is going to be meaningful, if this is going to be helpful or useful to you, I think that there are a few things to understand about confidence. Number 1, please remember this. We are not born with confidence. We're not. Think about it. From the beginning of man, early caveman wakes up in the morning. He doesn't say to himself, gosh, I'm going to get myself a mastodon and we're going to eat for the next month. No, that early caveman, I'm sorry, this sounds a little sexist, doesn't it? That cave person wakes up and says, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I hope I can find something to eat. So we are not born with confidence. Even now, we still have that fight or flight response to just about everything that's happening in our lives. So the fact that we're not born with self-confidence means that we have to address developing self-confidence as part of who we are. Number 2, we value humility over success. That's really true, isn't it? I mean, we are told not to sort of show off or celebrate our successes, but we've got to be a little humble. Shucks, it was nothing. And so because our society is built that way, that humility is an important part of who we're supposed to be, that means that we actually put that kind of self-confidence on the back burner many, many times when we should acknowledge it for what it is, and that is an accomplishment, something that makes you feel good about who you are in this world. And so we value humility over success. That's something we have to think, I think, a little bit differently. We have to approach it a little bit differently. Number 3, as I alluded to earlier about the early caveman, it takes effort to build a confidence foundation. It is not something that comes automatically. It takes time. Actors' confidence, or being an actor and having confidence, is not the following. Okay? Number 1, false claims of success. There's this idea that we are not enough. And sometimes we like to fill in the blank by being, let's say, less than truthful about some of our successes. We diminish our failures and we accentuate our successes as if there's something more. So having false claims of success is something that does not build self-confidence. Just because you say it doesn't necessarily make it true. It is a feeling. It is not a fact. Also, there's the actor that says, my work is better than anybody else's. When that comparison or that competition happens among actors, I think it's really detrimental. It doesn't really serve you by diminishing others. And so be very, very careful when we're talking about developing and building inner self-confidence. It's not about putting down those around us. It's not about those that are less than and we are more than. So when you say my work is better than anybody else's, that is clearly something that building self-confidence doesn't really do. And number 3, are you actually putting on another mask when you're thinking self-confidence? The other actor mask that you are wearing is the mask of, oh, I am all that. I am better than the rest. Or I am so great that I can't even, discuss it. So if you're wearing another mask, that is not true self-confidence. Self-confidence is that thing that is inside of you that says, I got this. I got this. So that brings us to key number 1 of the 3 keys to building self-confidence. 1 is to embrace your present self by acknowledgement of gratitude. Your affirmation about gratitude is so incredibly important. And this is something, frankly, I would suggest you try on a daily basis. There are many, but let me just bring up 3 of them if I can. 1 is that you are alive. You are breathing, you're thinking, you are a creative human being, and that is something to be really, really grateful for. We've been living through an intense time lately, and just a little bit of gratitude about the fact that you are thinking and alive and you're breathing can really help you start that path that will lead you into a place of feeling more confident about who you are and who you are in the world as an actor. There's another one, acceptance of where you are in the world. If you simply accept the reality that you're currently living in, you're going to find that to be a great reinforcement of not putting yourself down, not wishing you had more, but just acceptance. Acceptance. Where you are in your career as an actor is what? It's where you are. You are here, and it's now. It's a moment in time. So having and growing acceptance of where you are in the world as an actor and as a human being, for goodness sake, can really help you calm those voices in your head. And then here's another suggestion about key number 1, and that is to trust your training and trust your own personal story of accomplishment. It's that phrase, you are enough. But also, don't deny yourself the wonderful training and your own personal experience and your own story as an actor. That is an accomplishment. That is something that you need to tick off the box. When you're making a list of all of the things that you should be grateful for, or all of the accomplishments, and training needs to be at the top of the list. Actually, the top of the list, it should be number 1. When you're making a list, number 1, make list, and then check that off. You're going to feel really good about yourself. All right, let's move on to key number 2. Key number 2 for self-confidence is project a positive outcome. It's really amazing because we are creative people. We have this really fertile imagination, right? We've developed it. We know how to play. No matter that we're adults and living in a difficult time, we also know how to project a positive outcome. If it's an audition, project what it would feel like to book that job. If it's an opening night of a play, I want you to project that audience giving you a standing ovation. So that's why projecting a positive outcome is really a great way to build some self-confidence. And you do that through a couple of ways. One is visualization, like I just said. If you visualize something successful taking place as a result of your efforts, that's a great way to the key number 2 of building self-confidence. The other thing I see is that actors treat an audition as if it's sort of an injection of anxiety, that it becomes painful, it becomes nerve-wracking, it becomes very stressful for a lot of actors. Why not turn that around for yourself? Think of an audition as an opportunity to perform. An opportunity to perform. That's why you are an actor in the first place. So rather than thinking of it as an evaluation of your talent, why not think of it as, here's an opportunity that I get to do what I love to do, which is act. And then the third thing that I suggest you do in terms of projecting a positive outcome is turn down the negative voices in your head. We all have this voice that is mercilessly beating us up, giving us a hard time, saying things that we would never say to a loved one, but yet we still find a way to say it to ourselves. Turn down the negative voices in your head. Now, this is something I've experienced, firsthand, and it took me a long, long time. You'll never be able to turn off that voice in your head. That's just part of who you are. I should never say never, but it's been my experience that it's really hard to do that. But what you can do is pay less attention to it. And the way you pay less attention to it is you refocus on those other things that are positive and meaningful. So instead of listening to the voice in your head that says, oh my God, another audition, you always suck at these auditions, why not say, hey, you know what? At least it's an opportunity to perform. At least it's a way that I can put one foot in front of the other and feel better about who I am in the world. And you know what? There's always a chance that I'm going to book this job. Why not? Someone is going to be playing this role. Why couldn't it be you? Key number 3. The key to confidence is to rethink your definition of success. Rethink your definition of success. A booking is a culmination. When you book a job, that's a culmination. That is a combination of your preparation, your good work, and the opportunity that you've been given. It's as simple as that. When opportunity meets preparation, that leads to a booking. Now, we can't worry about those things we have no control over, but we can do the right kinds of preparation, and we can bring the right energy, attitude, and focus when an opportunity arises. Number 2, not getting the job does not mean lack of success. We feel and we put such high standards in front of us that it's only important that I book the job. I'm only successful if I'm a working actor. Well, you know what? I think you need to rethink that. I think a successful audition is one where you put yourself out there, you feel good about the choices that you make, and then you call it a day and move on to the next audition. It's not a matter of the booking making or denying your success. It's a matter of your approach to the work that can make you feel more confident. And the way to do that is to ask yourself, what was the lesson you were supposed to learn in this audition? Did I do enough work? Did I present myself in a very positive, uplifting way? Did I feel good about creative choices that I might have made in this audition? So if you're asking those kinds of questions, then you are actually setting yourself up to give a positive kind of reinforcement to those things that you can feel good about. And feeling good, feeling confident is not something that you put on. It is something that is internal. It is something inside of you where you say, you know what? I belong. Belonging is a really important part of being confident. It's not a solo performance. It's something that you bring your whole self to and then be able to experience that with others. So understand what we tell ourselves can have a major impact on our choices. So I suggest choosing confidence. Choosing confidence is the best way to move through the challenges of being an actor and ultimately loving the life you are living. One of creativity, inventiveness, an identity that is truly unique. That went really fast, didn't it? I hope you got a lot out of it. If not, you can always go back and listen to it again. You can also go and get some Jeff's Jots on the website, castingactorscast.com, and follow along. I think you're going to find this really helpful. Please share this with somebody that might benefit from hearing what I have to say. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach, and this is Casting Actors Cast.
Casting Actors Cast is made possible with your support just by listening. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.